Hey friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So we're here pondside, feeding the fishies, checking on the new ones we put in yesterday. Was it yesterday? Or was it the day before? It was the day before. Okay. Checking on the new ones we have in here. And I seem to see, I haven't seen the little baby. I haven't seen the little baby one, the little butterfly. But it seems like I've seen most of them, so they seem to be doing okay. So the NFL, we know, starting tomorrow, coaches will be back in the facilities. Mike McCarthy and crew, they're working on getting in there tomorrow, so they're going to get to work, hard at work. And I believe that we're going to have a 2020 season. Like I said, we'll find out how contagious Corona really is over the course of the next 2 weeks because, you know, with everybody being there close together, if all of a sudden we have a big blow up, we know that it hasn't passed. But then again, maybe being outdoors in the heat and sweating and everything else, maybe that scares the Corona away that he just doesn't like funk. Yeah, it could be. You know how sometimes ladies, you're beefing out there in the heat and they're kind of like, maybe Corona's that way too. So as we go through, we don't know how the season is going to unfold, if we're going to have full schedule or not, if we're going to have fans in the stand, if we're going to have reduced ones and things. And the NFL recognizes that. See, the NFL, they plan for everything, okay? They look at all the situations, all the scenarios, and they figure out how we're going to react well ahead of time. Think I'm crazy? We're thinking about the Super Bowl that just passed. They have all the plans already together for the next Super Bowl. And even if they have to move the next Super Bowl, not only that, they already got the stuff worked up 2 years down the road from here. These guys know more than some countries do. And understanding that, that's where they're looking at this, because a lot of people say, oh, you can't sign Dak Prescott now because the salary cap. Could go down by $30-40 million next year because you may not have fans in the stands. And that could be a major hit money-wise to the NFL, which is true. But see, here's the thing. We're not talking about some banana republic that doesn't know what they're doing. We're talking about the NFL. The NFL. They plan for shit. They have contingency plans and contingency plans for the contingency plans. And that's where the NFL and the NFLPA, who just finished doing the negotiations for the last contract, are actually working as we speak now on how to deal with the situation if they have a loss in revenue. One of the proposals that they're talking about is basically taking what the projections are for the next 4 or 5 years and dividing it up. Because see, here's the thing. Unlike basketball and baseball and other sports, the NFL is going to have a major jump in revenue because of what they've done. So when we think of the NFL going from 16 games to 17 games, let's see, so 32, that's 64. So let's say, okay, let's put it this way. Let's say the NBA, which has 82 games, right? How much more money do you think it would have if they ended up putting in 5 more games for every team? Would you think that that would bring in some more revenue? If they went from 82 games to 87 games? It would. That's more concession money. That's more fans in the stands. And let's say they end up adding 2 more teams to playoffs. It's another series, actually another 2 series of playoffs. That's putting in other markets that normally wouldn't be there as part of the revenue. All these things are going to be happening 2021. Add to that now, because you have more teams that will be playing in playoffs. You're talking about playoffs? Playoffs? Yes, we're talking about playoffs. Now that you're going to have more teams playing playoff games, now that you're going to have all teams playing more games, and the television contract is up for renewal, buddy, think about how the ratings will be next year. I want you to think about this. If you cannot have fans in the stands, if we're all at home watching football, be it on TV, the red zone, watching it streaming online, and let's say they don't have college football. In college football, the NFL takes Saturday. For the NFL, you may lose money with fans in the stands, but think about the position you go into with all of these networks, these streamers. You say, hey, look, viewership not only went up last year for the first time in a long time on television, viewership just went and tore the roof off the sucker. Think about the draft. The draft, viewership increased by 35%. Now, I understand that, part of that is kind of artificial number because people who would be at the stands would be watching on television. But do you think that the NFL is going to say, well, that number really, that's empty calories, like they do to Dak Prescott? That was only because they had to watch it on TV because they couldn't watch it in the stands. That's not how it's going to be. You're going to go to them and say, hey, look, kind of like the drug dealer will do. Drug dealer lets you get a taste. Check this out. Yeah, you got this for free. You want some more of it, you got to pay. And that's where the NFL realizes, you're going to pay me now or you're going to pay me later. I can take the bite for this year of not having the fans in the stands because I'm going to get a boatload of money for years to come from the NFL networks. From the networks and the streamers. But not only that, unlike the other sports, you've got that revenue that's going to be coming in. You've got a new television contract that's going to be coming in. But now you also have gambling that's going to be coming in as well. And the NFL, everybody likes to put some money. Everybody likes to put some money on it. And when you have teams like the Redskins who are planning for their future home, have already put on the ballot in Maryland a referendum to allow gambling at their stadium. And one of the sites that they're looking for possibly putting the Redskins is right across the street from the MGM. That, my friends, is money that goes into the kitty for the NFL and the NFLPA. So how does this all affect and why should we care about this? Well, what they're looking at, like I said, is making projections of where the revenue, just saying, conservatively, we will get X number of dollars more from the television contracts. We'll get X number of dollars because of gambling. We'll lose potentially this much money. But where we'll be in 4 or 5 years from now, we should be up here. So what we'll do is we'll artificially set the salary cap to absorb this year's losses. Basically, it's like getting a loan. If you've got a business and you see some of these companies that say they will pay you for invoices that are coming up. We know you're going to get it, your settlement money. You need the cash right now, so we'll make a loan, we'll take a commission off of it, and here's your money, and you're good to go. And that's basically what the NFL's doing. How does this affect us? Well, if you were thinking that if Dak Prescott gets paid a bunch of money and then the salary cap goes down, then the Cowboys would be screwed because they just paid him this money. Well, understand, it goes beyond just Dak Prescott. If the NFL salary cap were to go down by $30 or $40 million next year, when you look at a team like the Rams that right now only have $500,000, that have already kind of gutted the team and have other people to play like Jalen Ramsey, literally the NFL would have to gut every single team of talent. Having to drop $30 or $40 million in talent across the board It's not even conceivable or doable. And you can't go through and tell somebody like Aaron Rodgers, hey, Aaron, buddy, we want you to drop $10 million a year. Part of the holdup on the last contract negotiation was the fact that the NFL wanted to put a cap on the 17th game of $250,000. And everybody like, yo, bro, I get paid $32 million a year. That means I get $2 million a game. I'm not settling for an extra game for $250. That's chump change. Not to me. I'll pay. I play for two. I would, but I don't have a contract that pays me $2 million a game. So that's where they're working it out. So if you're Dak Prescott, or if you're Pat Mahomes, or if you're Deshaun Watson, and you're looking at getting another deal, you're not worried about the salary cap issue, at least if they work out a deal between the NFL and the NFLPA. So there you have it. And looks like the fishies are having a nice day too. Still working on what to call my pondside conversations. I've heard fish for six. I've heard pond point. Maybe we should call it something's fishy. Yeah, something's fishy. But we'll figure it out. All right, y'all. Keep the peace. And I'll catch you later.